Yeah, we're going to go to Fort Adams, and it's a place that I've actually never investigated before.
Oh.
So I'm excited to get out there with everybody else. You know, we've always seen it. It's been on Ghost Hunters and some of the other paranormal TV shows, but just knowing that this awesome place full of history is right in our own backyard, you know, what better place to go and check out for Face Your Fears night? And it kind of keeps it going with the Fort theme.
So,
Absolutely, yeah.
I've been to Fort Adams a lot. Like, you know, we'll go down there on a Sunday to Newport, and we'll fly kites and throw frisbees and stuff like that down in Newport, but never thought about, you know, some of the things that went on down there. I guess it was a big fort back in the War of 1812, and a lot of, you know, obviously bad things happened there.
Yeah, it was built it opened up formally in 1799, so it's seen a lot of history over the years. But what's funny about it is it's not like other forts where it's battles that led to some of the ghosts that haunt the place. This is actually some weird stories that just have to do with the people who were living at the fort at the time, including one where there was a couple of privates who were celebrating the 4th of July, and one decided, and you know, celebrating by getting very drunk, and one of them ended up shooting the other one. And so his spirit is said to roam the grounds. And then a woman who died mysteriously. There's a couple of other cases of there was a jealous lover who shot his wife because she was cheating on him. You know, there's all these weird stories that are associated with this, and it's not the usual, you know, military deaths that you'd expect to find around a fort.
So now, let's say, talk to a skeptic about these
Michael.
Ghost hunts and stuff like that. You know, is it something where if you're a skeptic, if you go along, could you be convinced, or do you have to have an open mind going into this kind of thing?
I mean, you do want to go into it with an open mind, because if you go into it completely, there's a difference between a skeptic and a cynic. You know, a skeptic is willing to have their mind changed. A cynic is never going to.
Right.
And if you go into something cynical, you know, you're never going to be able to appreciate and experience for what it is. But if you can go in there and at least be willing to accept the fact that it could happen, then sometimes your eyes are opened a little bit. It doesn't mean something's going to reach up and grab you and shake you, but it might mean that something might just cause you to say, okay, maybe this is something that I would go and do again, because I still have some questions that need to be answered.
So just as Bruno Mars was playing, and just before we went on the radio with you, Tim, we're talking to Tim Weisberg, the host of Spooky South Coast, and we're going to be having this Face Your Fears event at Fort Adams in Newport this Saturday night. Before we went on, she asked me, has Tim ever, like, encountered a ghost? Why don't you answer that question, Tim?
The real answer is, when haven't I encountered a ghost?
Wow, so really?
Oh, yeah, so many experiences. I've been thrown up against the wall at the Lizzie Borden house. I've chased a shadow figure through the Lizzie Borden house. I shook hands with a ghost at the Houghton Mansion in North Adams. So I've had so many weird experiences over the years, but I mean, that's because I'm going out there looking for it.
Right.
The average person probably doesn't have this many paranormal experiences, and even the average paranormal investigator doesn't have as many experiences as I had. But I think what it is, you know, I'm putting myself in these locations all the time for these events, and I think I put out the energy out there that kind of draws these things.
Right. That's so cool.
And have you ever recorded anything? Like, you ever have any, like, audio or video recording of any of this stuff?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Up on the Spooky South Coast YouTube channel, you'll find a whole bunch of, you know, aside from our show videos every week, give a little plug there, but you'll find when we encountered something at Lizzie Borden's house that actually picked up a web camera and moved it twice. We have audio that we've captured in the Faring Tavern in Wareham of something admitting to murder. We have EVPs that sound like the voice of Lizzie Borden saying, "But I'm a good daughter." You know, there's so much stuff that we've captured just right here on the South Coast over the years.
Well, that was my next question, is the ghosts that you've encountered, are they all mean ghosts, or are they like Casper the Friendly Ghosts?
No, you know, I always kind of went into this, I was kind of like Zach from Ghost Adventures, like, come at me, ghost, you know, show me what you got. And when I changed my investigative technique and started to be a little bit kinder to the spirits, I found that I was encountering kinder spirits. So I've actually had some that have just wanted to come out and talk and just wanted to interact, and I've had others that wanted to shut me up and throw me up against the wall. I welcome all types.
So we do have a few more spots left if you want to join Tim down at Fort Adams, Rhode Island this Saturday night. What time do we start down there, Tim?
We're going to be kicking things. We want everybody to get there around 6:30. We're going to be kicking off the event itself at 7. We'll have a little bit of a lecture with the history of Fort Adams, some Paranormal 101 for those who are new to this, and those who want to during that portion of it. Stephanie Burke, my co-host on Spooky South Coast, will be doing psychic readings. So people who, you know, sometimes there's people who already know all the Paranormal 101 stuff. They can they can go off and have a psychic reading for a little extra charge. And then after everybody is ready and we feel like you have a good handle on how to investigate and the safety procedures, then we're just going to cut loose and we're going to spend 4 or 5 hours just wandering the grounds investigating.
Yeah, and this is not for, like, kids. This is not for the faint of heart. This is, you have
not
to be...
Not a family event with children.
It's pretty physical. It's pretty physical, too.
I used to think that, you had to have a certain maturity level to be able to do this, but, I find that some of these people that come to this event, they're so serious. It doesn't. I mean, I've investigated alongside 11-year-old kids that are better investigators than I am. So it is a family activity, but this event is recommended for 18+.